I'd like to introduce you to Richard Newsom. He is an amateur golfer who golfs over 100 rounds a year. He's won golf championships at multiple clubs in the Cincinnati area. He also attempts to qualify for the U.S. Open and the Public Links qualifier. And he has a desire to improve his putting game. And so he's here today to look at the golf mat and see what his opinion is from an amateur golfer's perspective. He currently holds a .1 handicap, which is almost a scratch golfer. And he has set some ambitious goals for 2013. And in order to achieve those goals, does need to improve his putting game. So what are your goals for this year, Richard?
The first one is I'd like to make the cut and advance to match play in the Cincinnati Amateur Championship. And the other is I would like to maintain my handicap where it is so I can play in the U.S. Open qualifier for the first time, as well as winning some of the same club championships that I have in the past.
And then in the Public Links qualifier, am I saying that correct?
Correct.
You have advanced to, you tied at the end of regular play and regulation, and then you had playoff holes, correct? So you almost won that championship as well.
Correct. I lost in the playoff because of a missed putt, so hopefully this will fix that.
This is the Retinal Retention golf mat, and it's a long title for a way to improve your golf game by two things. It will improve your ability to concentrate on the ball and the hit before the putt, and it will improve your ability to keep your head and eyes down where the ball was, so what we call dwell time afterwards. The way it works is it uses retinal retention, and retinal retention is when you see an after image, like if you have a flash photographer take a picture of you and the flash goes off and you can see the flash drifting around in your eye. It works the same type of way, but now the flash is the after image of where the ball was. We've got the ball on a little screen on the golf mat, and what you're supposed to do is you're supposed to look at the ball and address the putt as you normally would. I'm not changing your putting mechanics, I'm only changing your brain mechanics. And dwell on the putt and the ball for 10 seconds, go through the putt, try putt and hit the cup, and keep your eyes down and tell me what you see in the image that's left on the screen after you putt. So look at the ball, take in the screen, and then make a putt. Okay, and then we're going to talk about what you see. Ready?
Large capital X, not quite the diameter of the ball. After image ever so slight right in the center.
Okay, good.
Not much at all, not much distinction at all in the after image.
Okay, that's fine. Well, the screens change. Okay, so what this is telling me is it took you a little while to start to perceive the after image. That's a training effect. And only a couple of times did you describe it drifting to the left where your eyes might have been following the ball. So what this is telling me is that you're able to see the after image, to keep your eyes relatively stationary most of the time, maybe moving not before the putt, but right at the time of the putt. You sometimes are tending to follow the ball a little bit, but still enough to be able to read the numbers or characters that remain on the screen.
So Richard, you've just finished a series of putts on the golf mat. What are your first impressions?
Well, first it was a little awkward. I wasn't sure what to expect. It's a different kind of environment you're usually used to putting in. Once I understood the concept, it helped quite a lot. I like the instant feedback of the after image to know if I'm moving my head or not, because you can see the after image of the ball either drifting slightly to the left with my biggest problem of following the ball to the hole, or slightly up if I happen to raise my head a little bit. And that instant feedback was great. I was able to improve a lot throughout.
Now we broke you down kind of into two different sessions. And in the first session, you did 12 putts and you made 8 of them. In the second session, you did 25 putts and you made 19 of them. So that's a significant improvement. did you feel that that improvement was because you were keeping your head more still because of the golf mat, or is it because you were warming up? Were you able to identify perhaps why you improved so drastically?
Oh, it's definitely because my head and eyes aren't moving anymore. And like, this has been my problem for 40 years now. I've always moved my head when I putt, and when I'm able to force myself to keep my eyes and head still, I've always made more putts. I'm just not very good at keeping it there. So this kind of reinforcement, I think, would definitely help with that.
Now, are you able to see how the average golfer could use this off the course? And then do you think it would apply to yourself when you get to the actual course? Will it improve your putting? Can you see that transition and how your head will remain still and the retinal retention and improving your putting skills long term?
Yeah, I can definitely see it helping quickly. We've only been here 10 or 15 minutes, and I saw improvement right away. I think the biggest part is the instant feedback. If you go for a normal full swing type of lesson, you listen to the coach, you do what he instructs, and you work on it for thousands of golf balls before you get it right. This you can repeat in just a couple of minutes, and I think that'll help a lot.